How's it going, everybody? This is a Cat D4D Bulldozer. I don't even know for sure what year to call it because it's got parts from a 66 and a 68 dozer. If you haven't seen the other videos, my dad, my brother, and I have been working on it quite a bit, trying to get it ready to push dirt again. We recently got it running and driving, but then we found a few more issues with it. And the one we're working on today is the final drive case is leaking. So there's gaskets under there, and I guess they're not sealed well enough and they're leaking oil. So we're gonna have to dig into that. All right, now you're down underneath the machine with me. So we have some bolts here that are quite worn. I don't know I'm gonna be able to do anything with those. But we have these bolts. This one's missing. There's one missing here, there's one missing here. These two are good. There's one there, there's two missing there, and one missing here. So it looks like they didn't have enough bolts to put it back together, but they picked symmetrical spots. I don't really know what's going on. But I'm going to take all these bolts out, and this cover should come off. If there's any oil in here, there should be very little. We already drained it. And these are not going to be fun to deal with, but I'll get to those later. Okay, they're all out. And there it is. So we're dripping a little bit of oil, but mostly got it all out. It does look rather sludgy. That's not very good. I wonder why that's like that. Gross. So I think I only have the gasket. It looks like there was no gasket in here. Oh, this might be... That's cardboard. I only have the gasket that goes up here. I don't have the gasket that goes on this face. So we're probably going to have to make something. I don't know what they used here. It almost looks like they used a piece of plastic or something. Or maybe that's a real gasket. I don't know. I'm not the first person to be in here trying to do this. But it does look like we got a bolt broken off in this hole. Might have the same in that hole. This one was missing. I think there was another one up here somewhere that wasn't put in. Right here. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. There's a bolt that's supposed to go here, but... Oh, there is a hole there. This is solid. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna have to look this up. Maybe that's a jack bolt hole? There's definitely supposed to be one in there. Maybe this one's for a jack bolt? I don't know why you would need to jack this off though. Alright, now you're looking at the other side. This side has exactly the same bolts in. It's missing one on the end, it's missing one here. This one seems like there's no place to put it into, but there is here. There's a threaded hole up in the final drive housing here. So I don't know why that one's not in. We'll see if there's anything behind this hole on this one. I don't know, it's weird. Alright, I started cleaning up the gasket surface, but we got a little bit of a strange problem here. These big holes here, there's two big holes here, and there's one over there, but you can't, anyway, here, look at this one for now. And remember I said there was bolts missing, right? I took that one out of the middle, I took one over there, one here, one here, one here, one here. Well, it turns out there is no hole for the middle one, so that's why that one wasn't in. I don't know why this one wasn't in. This one wasn't in because it lines up with this big hole. Okay, so then I was like, okay, well, I'm just not going to put that one back in. But then I stuck my hand up in here, and unfortunately I don't have a way to show you this on camera easily, but if I stick my finger in there, I can touch the gear, which means this is directly connected to the case in here. Also, it's filled with grease. So I think what happened was, so these holes were lined up. There was a hole here directly lined up with a hole on the case, and I think oil was just leaking straight out, and you know, it kept leaking. The guys that owned this machine before were like, well, it's leaking, we'll just fill it with grease. So they filled it with grease, and now there's a whole bunch of grease in there, and that's what made all of this mess. But aside from the grease, I mean, the grease isn't really going to be a problem, it's fine, but we do need to fix this issue with this hole, or we're just going to continue to leak. So that's probably the only reason it was even leaking in the first place, is that those holes were lined up. So I went and found some more bolts. I got 4 more bolts. Unfortunately, I got to use 2 grade 8s because I don't have enough cap bolts. But so I'm going to add those 4 to the corners, right there and there. So those are going to get new bolts. These 2 we can't put any in because there's no hole to thread into. These 2 we have to plug. You can see here, this is where that big hole I was talking about was, and it just perfectly lines up with this hole, which means all your oil just goes straight out there. Even if you have a gasket across here, it'll seal for a short amount of time, but eventually, you know, it's going to get past that. So we're gonna tap this for pipe plugs and put pipe plugs in it. That way we don't leak. So I think what must have happened, I think this is a later model cover that's not actually for the machine that it's on. I don't even know how many people have owned these machines over the years and what they've done to them, but it looks like they took a later model guard and put it on a newer machine, or whatever, older machine, and now they just made it so that the rear end always leaks. So we got to fix that. Alright, so I really wanted to drill from the underside and tap from the underside, but we can't because there's a rib right here and it's right in the way. So unfortunately we got to put in the plugs from the top, which means if they're not tight enough we can't tighten them.
Hold on. This is drilling like steel as opposed to cast iron. Steel tends to give you a nice clean chip and it's kind of ductile, where cast iron tends to kind of powder, get all dusty from all the carbon. Which is good that it's steel because that means we can weld it if we have to. Honestly, we could probably weld these holes closed, but it's better not to warp it with additional heat. Okay, 37/64 on both the drills. Now, I just gotta see if I can get this tap square started.
That's why that gasket wasn't listed in the parts manual.
Is one hole. It's a big gasket.
Yeah, it's a whole gasket that goes on the other part.
That's what I tried finding it, but it didn't even.
That should be listed in here.
No, I tried finding online.
Oh. I bet you nobody ever uses that gasket.
Yep.
Because they probably don't. The only way you could get that off, you have to pull the sprockets, which we did, but then you got to pull the whole bowl gear and everything. I mean, it's like yeah.
I mean, it makes sense when you're putting it together for the first time. It doesn't make sense if you're
right.
doing any sort of work anywhere else. Yeah. I was gonna buy it just to cut the bottom off of it, but I couldn't even find it.
Yeah.
Go. Clean that up quick. Stick some goop on it. Put some this thread sealant with Teflon on it. Get it nice and tight. Go. One down, 3 to go. Here we go.
More cereal box gaskets. Because we can't actually get these ones.
Alright, one gasket's made up.
Alright. I was debating which side to put this on. I think I'm going to put the silicone on this side. I'm going to put the silicone on the cardboard here and then put the cardboard on the tractor and then put this on. This gray stuff is the right stuff. I think we're not going to have nearly enough of it though. By the way, we found out that this hole doesn't actually line up. That's a hole, and then that's the hole. So this is the hole on the machine, that's the hole on here. They don't line up, so you can't put a bolt in there, and that's why they didn't. We could potentially drill a hole here, but we decided not to bother for now. If it leaks, we'll take it back apart. But it's supposed to pour rain tomorrow, and the machine's outside, and we don't want to let it. We don't want water getting in the gear, in the final drive gear case. So we're just gonna slap it together how it is. I already put some RTV in the corners. I forgot to tell Tom to skip a hole. It's alright, it'll seal. So these holes should have been skipped. But that's okay. Alright, we got this cork gasket that goes up in there. Am I putting this on the right side? I think I am. Actually, you know what? They're identical. I know they are because Cat calls them out as the same part. They only got one part number. Yeah, it's going in. Well, this sucks. So I got these bolts in. Got those top bolts in and tightened it up as much as I could. I can't get these bolts in now. And it's because of that cork gasket. So this cork gasket's too thick. So now I'm gonna have to take it back out. We're gonna have to make a silicone gasket so that we can tighten it up more, and then we'll be able to get these bolts in. Oh, that sucks. So yeah, I guess the cork gasket, that is the right part for this. Well, it's not the right part if you don't have the right final drive cover, then that's not the right gasket. So gotta take it back apart. We decided, since we don't want it to leak, just going to silicone both sides of this gasket, and then we'll put one up here. Tom's making a cardboard gasket for this right now, and we'll silicone both sides of that too. And if we got to take this back apart, we'll have to scrape it all, but that's fine. We'll make gaskets again. So one thing though, we did run out of RTV, the stuff that's rated for gear oil, but I found this. It's told it's 100% silicone, and it says it's good for showers, sinks, countertops, and bulldozers. So we're all good. So normally I would be worried about putting too much silicone on something like this, RTV, whatever you got. But this is a gear case, and those gears don't care about this stuff. There's no filters to plug up or anything in this, so we're gonna be just fine putting on way too much of this stuff. Main thing we want is no leaky. I'm not used to Tom's caulk gun. See, mine has the automatic stop squirting feature, and Tom's doesn't. Alright, I put way too much on here, but that's okay. Just spread it around. This kitchen stuff is stinkier than the other stuff.
Yeah. I think it sets up quite a bit faster.
Yeah, I'm trying to move pretty quick. Can you give me the tube?
Yep.
Some of that. There. Oops. Right in the hole, which is where I didn't want it. All right. Alright, the camera died in the middle of that, but we got that side bolted on, and then we got that side bolted on. And we were kind of in a rush because the RTV was starting to set up, so we didn't have time to swap batteries and stuff, but all we did is put some bolts in. And this stuff, it's not actually even RTV like I showed you, it's kitchen grade silicone. But whatever, it should seal oil, hopefully, we'll see. But it's closed up and we're ready for the rain tomorrow, and it's not going to wreck stuff, so. Alright, we filled it back up with oil and we ran it a bit. And looks like no leaky. You can see a little bit of wetness on there. A lot of that's just condensation and a little bit of residual oil from before. But it's not leaking anything. Before it was pouring. So we're going to call that fixed. No more leaking final drives. So that's good. We'll just have to make a habit of checking the oil. Because previous owners, well, of the other machine didn't. And that's how they blew up their final drives. So we don't want to do that. Alright, so I'm going to end the video here on fixing the final drive seals on this. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.